under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, good morning and welcome to our Tuesday morning meeting, the 9th of January. Again, Happy New Year. My name is Andy Hunthausen. I'll be chairing the meeting. To my left is Commissioner Tom Rolfe. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
His left, Flo Liston. Good morning. Flo will be taking care of us today. And to my right, Commissioner Candace Payne. Good morning. Nico Hash, Deputy County Attorney, and Roger Baltz, our Chief Administrative Officer. There is a sign-in sheet in the front. We'd like everyone to sign in if you would, please, prior to leaving today, and agendas there as well. And we'll start, we don't have any consent action items, Mr. Baltz, so we'll start with item number 3 on our agenda, which is a contract between Lewis and Clark County and People First. Under Sheriff, welcome.
Good morning, Commissioners, Mr. Chair. Happy New Year. Before you today is a contract. Hopefully you consider a contract with People First for the amount of $5,000. This is a contractor, and he will perform the facilitation and services between Lewis and Clark County Sheriff's Office during our strategic planning, which will be held February 20 of 2024 through the 22nd.
Thank you. Just for the record, will you introduce yourself so we have it on?
Sorry, Under Sheriff Brent Colbert from the Lewis and Clark County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you, Under Sheriff. Any questions, Commissioners, about this contract? Commissioner?
I wouldn't want, he's deputy? No, he's Under Sheriff. Sorry, Under Sheriff Colbert to get away without some effort on this. So, this consultant is going to help keep it from being a fist fight or what?
No, Commissioner, what we do this every 2 years, and this is the year that we'll be doing this. It's a strategic plan that the Sheriff's Office has, and we've been doing for several years. We come up with new goals and plans for the strategic plan of the Sheriff's Office, where all of the supervisors get together and leaders get together and forge a good set of goals for the next 2 years of the Sheriff's Office.
Okay, just to help the folks out there in TV land have a better understanding of how many people, I mean, can you just give us a little, how many people attend? Is it, what kind of things you talk about? Where do the ideas come from? Just a little.
Yes, Commissioner, what happens there is we have everybody in the Sheriff's Office that is a supervisor, which means sergeant and above, all the way to the sheriff. And we discuss leadership tactics and different ways we want the Sheriff's Office to look. The sheriff puts us all in as a team, and we talk about leadership and just ways we want to go and goals that we have for the next 2 years.
Okay, thank you. I have no more questions.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other questions?
None here.
Under Sheriff Colbert, just recognizing this is something that we do, you mentioned we do every 2 years. The Sheriff's Office is continually looking, as many of our other departments and offices are looking at strategic plans, how they serve the public, how they provide leadership, how maybe you guys structure your ranks and all those kinds of things. All of that might be discussed in this. Am I right? Is just
Mr. Chair, that is exactly correct. That's what we do every 2 years and been working so far.
And it's very normal to use an outside consultant come in and provide that facilitation of that process.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair.
And then they create a report, help to kind of frame that strategic plan, and so that you have that to go forward. Is that?
Mr. Chair, what we do is we have that facilitator. After this is done, we will sit down with him. He takes all the notes, or she, whenever it is. And we sit down as a whole team again, and we present it to the whole Sheriff's Office. This is the direction we want to go.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Any other questions or comments, Commissioners? All right. How about public comment on this item? Public comment? Any public comment? All right. Hearing none. Commissioners, is there a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the contract with People People First in the amount of $5,000 as presented by Under Sheriff Colbert.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Moved and seconded to approve the contract between Lewis, Clark County and People First as presented. Further discussion.
I'm happy to support this effort to help the sheriff's department, sheriff's office.
Good catch, Commissioner. All right. With that, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Next item on the agenda is a grant award to Lewis and Clark Public Health from the Montana Public Health Trust. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the Commission. I'm Sarah Sandow, the Community Health Promotion Division Administrator at Lewis and Clark Public Health. Today, I have before you a grant award from the Montana Mental Health Trust for the contract for Safer Communities Montana work in the amount of $49,983. The grant period is January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024. Lewis and Clark Public Health has received this funding for the past 3 years. This would make it our 4th year. Safer Communities Montana advocates for suicide prevention in Lewis and Clark, Broadwater, and Jefferson counties through collaboration with the firearm and pharmaceutical communities to reduce means access by people at risk. This effort is funded by 2 different grants, our injury prevention grant that you all approved a few weeks ago, as well as this Montana Mental Health Trust grant. We have representatives from the 3-county region on the coalition, along with support from the local advisory councils and the health departments in those other counties as well. We have representatives from both the firearm and pharmaceutical communities who are on the committee to help provide perspective and guidance to the work as well. Safer Communities Montana provides appropriate suicide prevention tools and training to pharmacies, firearm-related businesses, healthcare providers, and community members. The goal is to give tools so individuals can intervene at times when they interact with someone who might be going through a mental health crisis. In our last year, the grant provided funding for 2,000 gun locks and 2,000 deterrent packets, had a radio campaign, printed advertisements, printed materials for the businesses. Deterra is a deactivation tool, so individuals can deactivate their prescription pills at home in a safe manner. This current grant will provide continued funding for marketing, continued printing of materials, and ordering those gun locks in Deterra. This past grant that just sunsetted on December 31st was in our fiscal year 24 budget, that half of the year. This one that we're bringing forward today was not in the fiscal year 24 budget. So we will need to add this second part of the fiscal year 24 and the first part of fiscal year 25 into the budget. And I have staff here for questions, and staff recommends approval.
Thank you so much. Questions, commissioners? Any questions about this? Well, I'll just maybe not as much a question, but well, I'll frame it as a question. But just discussing a little bit about how this looks on the ground. I mean, you talked about the gun locks and working with everybody from retailers to healthcare. Just kind of a, you know, what does that look like? So if I'm a Capital Sports, for example, and you engage me, what does that look like compared to providing gun locks at a, I don't know, maybe at an event or something? So just talk about it a little bit, how this might work on the ground and how important it is. I just bring this up because I think there should be, and there probably is, a strong public interest in suicide prevention when our state remains at one of the top successful suicide rates in the country. And that's not where we want to be. So there's been significant investment by the state of Montana and federal dollars coming down to the states for suicide prevention. And this is one of those where the rubber meets the road kind of grants where we're doing the work on the ground. So just an opportunity, I guess, to educate the public, but talk about the good work a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So Safer Communities Montana works in a few different capacities. So when we say reducing access to lethal means, we're talking about the ways that people die by suicide. And there are a few ways that are more lethal than other ways. Those are pharmaceuticals and firearms. And so we're looking at suicide prevention by reducing access because we know that time and space increases the likelihood of getting help and getting services. So how we do that is a few things. So we have a committee, and that includes people from the pharmaceutical and firearm communities. So we have capital sports at the table. We make sure pharmacists are at the table so that we could talk about what are the barriers that they're seeing day in, day out. What are the issues that they're seeing? Can they talk about suicide prevention when someone's coming to buy a firearm or when they're getting a huge prescription filled? Do they feel comfortable having that conversation? Do they feel comfortable saying no if they feel uncomfortable in a situation with a person? How does that look? If someone tries to bring in their firearm because they don't feel comfortable with it being at home, how do the businesses and how do they feel comfortable talking about it? So the work on that committee is really working with those gatekeepers, those companies, those businesses to have the tools, to have the tip sheets, to have the talking points and feel comfortable being able to do so. It's also talking to the general community about how do you talk to your friend if you see that they're going through, can you hold their fire for them? Can you hold their prescriptions? Can you have a situation so that you can also help a neighbor, a friend, a family member? So that's where the radio and the printed advertisement come in. So that's more of our general community as well as our community events outreach. So we go to a lot of events. Some of them are, we had a VA resource fair. We went to Survivor Day. We go to the gun shows. We have given postcards at vaccine clinics. Really, we're trying to meet people where they are to talk about a subject that's hard to talk about. So that's more the general community as well. So those are kind of two of the aspects.
Great. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. I really appreciate it. It's really important work. Commissioners, any other questions or comments?
I have a comment.
Yes.
Please.
I was looking at the materials you provided with us, the lethality of suicide methods. And that is absolutely amazing. If a person were, I assume this is on your website, so if those out in TV land wanted to look at it, but it's a graphic showing that a firearm injury in a suicide attempt is 85 to 90% fatal, whereas all other methods, only 5% are fatal. And to me, that is just an outrageous statistic and certainly needs to be addressed. And I am really glad that you are out there trying to get a handle on this. So, wow, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Payne.
Thank you. Anything else, commissioners?
Just a comment, this is important work. It seems to me, but it seems like the total numbers of suicides don't seem to be dropping. And hope that you're, keeping an open mind as to other ways we can approach this to make a difference.
Absolutely. Thank you, Commissioner Rowe.
Thank you. Okay. Any public comment on this item? Any public comment? Any public comment? Okay, commissioners, how about a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the grant agreement as presented by Sarah Sandow.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Moved and seconded to approve the grant award to Lewis and Clark County as presented. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. We're on to the next item on the agenda, which is an agreement between Lewis and Clark County and Malmstrom Air Force Base. Good morning, sir.
Mr. Chairman Hunthausen, good morning. Commissioner Rolfe, good morning.
Good morning.
Commissioner Payne, good morning to you as well. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, my name is Kevin Horn. Spelling on that is first name Kevin, Kevin. Last name is Horn, Horne. I'm the Operations Manager for Lewis and Clark County's Public Works Department. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I'd like to draw your attention to item number 5 on today's agenda. Is an agreement between Lewis and Clark County and Malmstrom Air Force Base. This agreement is between Malmstrom Air Force Base, 7 missile counties that include Cascade County, Choteau County, Ferguson County, Judith Basin County, Teton County, Wheatland County, and Lewis and Clark County. Also, the U.S. Department of Transportation Federal Highway Administration, for extraordinary snow removal, acronym ESR, on the defense access roads. The Malmstrom Air Force Base classifies the ESR as extraordinary. Sometimes you might hear that acronym as emergency floating around once in a while, but it is extraordinary snow removal. The ESR program was established to reimburse counties for performing snow removal on roads that do not normally maintain due to their remote locations and lack of inhabitants. This program is essential to ensure the security of the federal facilities. Compensation includes an annual mobilization fee of $1,500 per missile silo location for a total of amount of $15,000 lump sum payment. And also a lump sum payment of $5,100 for labor and management in a situation for call outs, reimbursement for actual labor hours with fringe benefits and equipment operation charges are based on Federal Emergency Management Agency, acronym FEMA, for the equipment rates. This agreement is effective starting October 1st, 2023, and will run through September 30th of 2028. The mobilization fee per site shall be increased annually by 3.5% for inflation. Staff recommends approval of the agreement with the Malmstrom Air Force Base for a minimum annual payment of $21,000 for extraordinary snow removal beginning in the 2023-2024 winter season, and will continue to be paid for each of the remaining years of this agreement through September 30th of 2028. And Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this agreement requires all three signatures by the commissioners, is noted here. I would also add, I think it's important for the board to know, and maybe the public to understand, how the call out works for these events. Our staff is on a paging system that is tied directly to Sheriff Dispatch Office. We have somebody on call 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So when Malmstrom has an event, that actually runs through Cascade County Sheriff Dispatch. Cascade County Sheriff Dispatch notifies us through our paging system of an event, and that's when our services are required when we mobilize on site. So happy to answer any further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Horn. I think you did a pretty good job covering it. Any questions, commissioners? Any further questions?
None.
All right. And this, I guess, just this partnership's been going on for a long time. We do this since I've been here, every time the contract gets fulfilled, we renew it and for the next several years, as we're doing today. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, I don't know when it actually started, but they are 5-year revolving contracts.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Commissioners, without any other questions, any public comment on this item? Any public comment on this contract? Any public comment? All right, commissioners, how about a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve the agreement between Lewis and Clark County and Malmstrom Air Force Base as explained by Mr. Horn.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the agreement as presented. Further discussion, commissioners?
I think this is, Mr. Chair, I believe this is an important thing that we do to support our national defense, and appreciate the good job that the Public Works Department does in this support.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right. With that, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is a contract between Lewis and Clark County and Facility Improvement Corporation. Good morning, Director.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. My name is Jenny Chambers, Lewis Clark County Public Works Director. Today we have a contract with Facility Improvement Corporation to install standard electric controls in the Journey Home building. These controls are needed to bring current building systems up to present technology by replacing all thermostats and updating all controls for remote access. It'll allow us to visualize this remotely and make adjustments in controls, or have alarms go off if there's something we need to take care of to go on site. The system upgrade will allow for a simpler interface of the operations. It'll allow for remote troubleshooting And the new system will be more robust and designed to be able to withstand power outages and other fluctuations. So as the building has impacts that we're unaware of because we're not on site, we're able to go and address those with this remote monitoring. The funding is provided by the Crisis Diversion Grant through the Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services, Behavioral Health and Development Disabilities Division, to assist the county in addressing crisis services, which includes both a receiving or stabilization unit as we look to have that building be occupied for those services in the future. So we're coordinating, Public Works is coordinating with Public Health on this effort to get these building improvements done for that facility. Staff recommends approval of the contract with Facility Improvement Corporation for a total sum not to exceed $48,992. And the work will be completed by March 29th, 2024. And we authorize the chairman to sign all contract documents. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director Chambers. Questions, commissioners? Questions, comments?
If I understand this right, Mr. Chair, if I can ask, this is to get the facility ready for use as either a crisis receiving or stabilization unit, or both, as we move forward with negotiations to try to use the facility it was originally intended.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Rolfe, that's correct. Public Works Building Department walked through with the Public Health, with Drenda and some of our staff to look at the building and just make sure that things are being updated and taken care of as we need to as far as maintenance requirements. She has that grant funding available to do preparation and get the building functioning for that ability. And so there's a list of maybe 10 projects that we're working on, and this is one of those. The remote access will be really critical for anybody that occupies that building, whether or not we continue to own it and operate it as a county, or whether you have some kind of lease agreement, but it'll really allow for really good troubleshooting and maintenance of a very, very important part of the building, which is the heating and ventilation controls for the remote access.
Great, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Any other questions this time? Okay, yes, looking forward to this. How about public comment on this item? Any public comment? Any public comment? Seeing no public comment, commissioners, is there a motion to approve this contract between Lewis and Clark County and Facility Improvement Corporation as presented?
Mr. Chair, I'm pleased to move to approve the contract between Lewis and Clark County and the Facility Improvement Corporation as explained by Ms. Chambers.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the contract as presented. Further discussion, commissioners? I would just say thank you, appreciate it. We've, as was said in the presentation and comments by Commissioner Rolfe, that we've been looking forward to making sure this building is ready to go and the maintenance is on the up and up and ready to provide services. So we're working on that in the community, and hopefully we can, this is the year that we reoccupy the building and use it for the purpose that it was designed to serve our community and our behavioral health needs in the community. All right, with that, commissioners, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, we're at that time in the meeting where we will take public comment on any item that is under the jurisdiction of the commission, but not on today's agenda. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Seeing no public in the room, commissioners, we will stand adjourned. Thank you very much.